ID at Xbox had a showcase yesterday, and there's lots of interesting stuff, lots of stuff dropping into Game Pass that's exciting that came out of that show. So we will go over that. Tony Hawk, they put out another tweet here. It's all the stuff is happening with the Tony Hawk games. Not sure what it is, of course, but there is a big announcement coming from the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series. And this tweet he puts out is just awesome. It's a nice throwback to the older game, so I would think it's a remake. Assassin's Creed, I mean, they can't catch a break. Ubisoft cannot catch a break as the full game has been leaked. I guess the game got shipped and there's gameplay out there and everything. And we'll talk about that because they put out a statement addressing it, so they do recognize that this is going on. Can we see some more DC Universe games? I think it would be cool if we got some good ones. We get another Batman game back. We have a story on that. Black Myth Wukong. My suspicions have been basically proven correct here in terms of the sales, where this sold, and it really shows the power that a Chinese developer can have over other developers. So we'll look at the numbers there, plus some other things. But before we continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming content, daily gaming news, and you like to stay up to date on everything, make sure to hit the subscribe, share the video, all that stuff. I see many of you who do watch the video on a daily basis. I go to my stats and I look, many who are watching have long watch time through the video, which I would assume means you are enjoying it somewhat. If you are one of those and you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. But let's jump into this. Let's start off here and let's talk about the ID at Xbox showcase. I love indie games. I think they're great. I love the ID at Xbox showcases because they show us a bunch of stuff that is coming out. And one of the best advantages of these showcases is showing Game Pass games that you're going to be able to play day one when they do launch into the service. And we got some pretty nice announcement here at this ID at Xbox showcase. Lots of popular indie games as well as just some new exciting ones to be able to check out. So here it is. Here's the list. These are the ones. I'm not going to go over everything that they did show, but I will talk about the Game Pass games specifically. And I would still recommend going to check out the show and everything that was announced at the ID at Xbox showcase. 33 Immortals gets a release date. This is one they've shown off a while ago. It looks very, very fun. A lot of people have ranted and raved about it. I believe they already had like a network test or something, and people who had played it said it was good. This is now releasing on March 18th on Xbox, PC, and on Xbox Game Pass. So March stacked here with lots of cool stuff coming out, and this is going to be another one that does drop. Balatro is now officially in Game Pass right now. You can go ahead and play the game that it took everybody by storm from a single developer from Saskatchewan, Canada, which is great to see. I'm from Canada, so it was very cool to see where this game was developed and just how big it blew up. So that was awesome. And now it's in Game Pass. Now it is in Game Pass, so you can go ahead and play it. And it has the new Friends of Jimbo update, which features crossover collaborations with different games. It's so cool that they're doing this with like Assassin's Creed and Civ 7, even Bug Snacks and everything. Hilarious stuff there. So it's awesome. This game is now in Xbox Game Pass if you want to go play Balatro if you haven't checked it out yet. We have this game here, Blueprints. And this game gets a release date. It is a puzzle exploration game. We can just quickly open up the trailer here and just see a bit of it. You don't get to see too much of it, but you can see it's a first person puzzle game. You explore, you figure out what is going on. This is coming out on April 10th. You have Buckshot Roulette here, which is also coming into Xbox Game Pass day one. We don't have the exact release date. I don't believe they gave it to us. It was released on PC in April of 2024, but for console, it is coming to Game Pass day one. We go here to the end, coming soon to PC and Xbox Game Pass. It's basically like a Russian roulette game. So if you're into that, horror, all that type of stuff, you can go ahead and check that one out. Then we have Descenders next, and I don't know why the video is not loading, but if you've ever played this is from No More Robots. They put a bunch of their stuff into Xbox Game Pass. This is coming day one on April 9th. Extreme Sports. It is a lot of fun. It's a online co-op. You go down and do a bunch of courses and things. It is very, very cool. We will offer online PvP and co-op experiences, as I said. So go check them out on April 9th. We got Echo Weaver Time Loops here coming over to Xbox Game Pass. This one looks pretty cool. It is a 2D side-scrolling game. I like my 2D side-scrolling games, and this one, art style, the atmosphere, and the story looks like it could be very, very interesting. It's a Metroidvania as well, so no official release date, but it is coming to Game Pass on day one. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, is joining Game Pass. If you've ever played these Moonlighter games, They're pretty cool. They're like 3D isometric style. I think they're kind of like Zelda as well, dungeon crawling adventure game. So the second one here is also coming to Game Pass. Again, we don't know the exact date, but will launch later this year. This one, I think a lot of people will be very excited about. Revenge of the Savage Planets. A lot of people loved the first one, and now the sequel is dropping here to Game Pass. An FPS, first-person shooter, puzzle, action style of game. We have Tanuki Pawn Summer Scoots, which is coming to Game Pass. If this is your style of game, you can check it out. You're driving a bike, you're doing tricks, you're a Tanuki. I mean, what else could you ask for? So that one looks pretty cool. Game Pass day one as well. I don't believe there is an official release date. I'll just go to the end of the trailer. It doesn't say, but it looks like it is obviously coming to Game Pass. And then we have Tempopo, which I don't really know too much about this, but it's coming April 17th. Looks like it is a rhythm adventure game. So if you're into that, that is coming as well. And then Ultimate Sheep Raccoon Parties up with Xbox Game Pass. And this is a party racer. They say it is coming to Xbox Game Pass whenever it is ready. So that is a large amount of games that are dropping into the service at day one. And again, this is all from that ID at Xbox show, which they always put on a good show. And there's always a bunch of stuff you get to play on Game Pass. So pretty exciting stuff there. I'm going to be checking out a lot of those. A lot of those are going right into my backlog as soon as they do come out. The ones that on top of my head, that Moonlighter 2 game looks very cool. Descenders next, those types of games are always very, very fun. Balatro, I mean, I'm going to jump into that as soon as I can and just play a couple of rounds on that. So there's a lot. There's 33 Immortals. Like there's a lot of stuff there. Very exciting stuff for indies, for Game Pass, for Xbox, all that stuff. So let's jump over here. Let's talk Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. We've talked about this the last couple of days. It just continues to build the hype for it because it is very close. It is like, what, 10 days away or something around there that we are going to be getting to finally see Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, whatever this announcement is, whether it's a new one into the series, whether it is the remakes of 3 and 4. I think it's the remakes of 3 and 4. But Tony Hawk Pro Skater tweets this out, loading new parks 3, 4, 25. And I mean, we knew this was coming. We saw the tease in the Call of Duty map. We saw Tony Hawk throw the eyes out on X to basically signify that. And now they put out this, loading new parks. You have the legends here in the picture with Tony Hawk. I'm guessing because of who's in this picture, this means it's the remakes. This is bringing back the old skaters and everything, and they're bringing back Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake, which is completely fine because, like I said, they did a really good job with 1 and 2. So bringing back 3 and 4 in the same vein, maybe with some more upgrades for the current generation of consoles, because the last one released on last generation would be phenomenal. I hope we get some more announcements, though. Who knows what else they could be coming out with this announcement on March 4th. One day, like I've said, I hope they do make a new one into the series. I hope they make a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6 to make up for the launch of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which was just a terrible, terrible game. All right, let's talk Assassin's Creed Shadows. This comes out March 20th. I'm looking forward to it. I think the game looks great from the gameplay that we have seen shown off, but obviously there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft, and it is getting worse as we lead up to March 20th. I mean, this is just another thing that they have to deal with to try to get through to the end here, which is March 20th to launch this game. And hopefully for them, it sells well, because this could have a far-reaching effects on Ubisoft and what they do with their business. If this game flops, it could mean Ubisoft goes into a different direction. They sell, like it could be the end of the current ownership and everything. Who knows what would happen, but it would not be good if Assassin's Creed Shadows does flop. And another thing that's hit here, it has to do with the game basically being out there now almost a month or more, just slightly less than a month before the official release of the game. We have this here. They put out this announcement because there was rumors going around this morning that it had been leaked. Somebody got it before the street date. I'm guessing it either got shipped, like the full physical version of the game got shipped and people started playing it and then putting out gameplay. You can find it online. I'm not going to show it here, but then they recognized it and they said that this is true. They say, hey, everyone, we are aware players have accessed Assassin's Creed Shadows ahead of its official release. The development team is still working on patches to prepare the experience for launch, and any footage shared online does not represent the final quality of the game. Leaks are unfortunate and can diminish the excitement for players. We kindly ask you to not spoil the experience for others. Thank you to our community for already taking steps to protect everyone from spoilers. Stay in the shadows, avoid the spoilers, and keep an eye on our channel for more official surprises in the coming weeks. March 20th will be here soon. So game has been out there, game has been leaked, and I'm trying to avoid these spoilers because I'm playing this game right when it comes on. I'm very much looking forward to it, but you have to ask yourself, how will this affect the sales of the game? How will this affect it? You know, there's going to be a couple of things that I think happen because of this leading up to the launch. I think you're going to see the people who want this game to fail to take the clips and just try to make it look as bad as possible. I believe that will happen. You're going to see a lot of people potentially seeing the story come out and either hating it or liking it. You don't really know which way that is going to go, and some people will be turned off and end up not purchasing the game. But I think there could be some positive out of this. I know that sounds crazy. I think there could be, because this game already has a lot stacked against it from all the controversies that have been drummed up online. But the gameplay looks very good, and I've seen already some posts of people discussing what they have seen, and they seem relatively impressed with so far this version of the game. This isn't the final version. There's still going to be updates. I mean, how many games come up with a day one patch, a huge patch to download, and this will not have that because that won't be available yet. But that could work in its favor, where it just builds up some hype and it builds up some FOMO leading up to the launch where people want to play it. And then once March 20th hits, they jump in and buy because of things that they've been hearing and seeing online. So we don't know if it's going to really affect it in a majorly positive or negative way, or really have no effect at all. But it's just another thing that it seems like it's never ending with Assassin's Creed Shadows that Ubisoft has to deal with. So I'm hoping for the best for this game because I like this series and I don't want Ubisoft to go away. I think Ubisoft is a staple in the industry, and if they got sold to somebody like Tencent, I think that would be worse off for all gamers at the end of the day. So hopefully this game fights through all this and it does end up releasing it and doing good. All right, let's talk about this. This to me is extremely interesting. This has to do with Black Myth Wukong. I've talked about this on my channel previously. A lot of people were looking at the sales of Black Myth Wukong and just saying it was this massive success, which it was, but there's a lot of context that was not included with those numbers, and the context being specifically where this game was bought, where was the majority of the players who purchased it, and that was in China, which when you're a company that is from China, you're a Chinese developer, you have a huge advantage to take advantage of the Chinese market that Western developers don't really have because of the difference between the countries, the governments, all this type of stuff, where not every game is able to be played over there. And Black Myth Wukong obviously was able to take advantage of it. We heard stories that people got to take off work to go ahead and play it. And now we have some more information about the sales numbers. New info about Black Myth Wukong. They say 30% of the total player base reportedly was outside of China, so 7.5 million. So that's still a big number. That's still a lot of copies sold outside of China. But that means that 70% of the sales were in China. That's a huge number here. They sold over 25 million copies. And the reason it got to such a massive number like this is because of the Chinese market and them being able to take advantage of it. They also say this one is also very interesting. 80% of the sales were on PC and a little over 20% are on the PlayStation 5. PC dominated the sales market here. And if you are still wondering why the industry has changed, why it's becoming far more multi-platform, why the traditional console exclusivity strategies of Xbox and of PlayStation are going away, it is because the market where you're going to be selling a lot more copies is the PC. The PC market has grown. It is continuing to grow. And I think one of the major things people always forget when they look at the console versus PC market and they compare it to where we previously were is that the consoles are PCs and they're the exact same. You're developing the game for the same architecture across both platforms, whereas in older generations, that was not the case. They had to work with these different platforms and they had to develop different versions of games for the console and for the PC. And that isn't there anymore. So you're a developer and you're seeing the growth is in the PC market. You only have to really develop the game once and then optimize it for the wherever hardware it's on. You're going to want to take advantage of PC, and ignoring that just can't happen anymore. And these are more numbers that point towards that, when just how many sales were on the PC versus the console. That's huge. And again, the other thing is China versus the world when it comes to these games in terms of the accessibility to the markets. You're seeing NetEase pull out of their foreign investments. Tencent would be another company that I think potentially will follow in the footsteps of NetEase, which is another reason why I think Ubisoft being sold to Tencent would be bad. So there's a lot changing, a lot to continue to look at and see how it all plays out. But those are some interesting numbers, at least for me, when it comes to Black Myth Wukong. All right, a couple more things here. Monster Hunter Wilds reviews are out. It is looking phenomenal right now, sitting at an 89 on Metacritic, 91 on OpenCritic. So if you're looking to play this game, this may be the one for you. I've heard many good things about this. I've also heard some positive things for newcomers, is that basically I think this one is the easiest to get into in terms of the mechanics and then understand them. I played Monster Hunter Worlds, and as somebody who was a newcomer to the series, that one was kind of hard to get into, or maybe I was just bad at the game. I potentially will be playing Wilds. I am looking forward to it. The reviews are looking very good. So if you're a fan of it, looks like this is another great entry from Capcom into the Monster Hunter series. We have this here, Resident Evil Revelations, another one that has been rated for the Xbox series. I don't know what's going on here. Is there going to be a massive drop of older Resident Evil games on Xbox? But it has been rated here by ESRB. We've seen Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6 be rated. I wonder if they're releasing some sort of compilation or collection of all of these games as we get closer to the launch of Resident Evil 9, or at least the announcement of Resident Evil 9. It could be a thing there because we keep seeing these ESRB ratings. That generally means that it's before they announce these games coming back, as I would think these are remasters because there's just so many. I doubt they're remaking all of these in this short period of time. We have this article here. The DCU have discussed new games. The DCU bosses are discussing new games with Rocksteady and NetherRealm. So it says here that James Gunn, they're working incredibly closely with JB Perrette, Warner Brothers CEO of Global Streaming and Games. And they say, it's really the first time it's ever been this way at Warner Brothers. James and I sit with guys that run the studios under JB, whether it's NetherRealm or Rocksteady. We sit with them and we talk about characters and stories that we're interested in and that they aren't interested in. We see designs for the projects in their very earliest stages. We talk about those. We talk about what the story might be, and we'll say, well, you maybe want to go this way because we're planning on maybe doing something with this character. And Gunn says that the first DCU game won't arrive for a couple of years. He says, yeah, it's a couple of years, but we've had some pretty active involvement and some stuff coming up that's really interesting. So that is pretty cool. I would love to see these games come out. I would love to see them be successful, especially Rocksteady. Hopefully their next game is a success and a hit, because what they lost like 250 million off of the Suicide Squad game, the next game may be their last chance for some of them, where there could be some major reductions if they don't do well. So I hope it all works out. A DC universe of video games would be very cool to kind of counter the Marvel stuff, just like we see in the movies. So hopefully there are some cool games that will be in the works, and that they're not just cash grabs or not just trend followers, and we get some nice single player experiences with all of the characters that are in there. But I'm gonna end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.